The Victorian Oaks home right here in St. Cloud is one of the few remaining well-preserved homes from the 19th century.
The house was built in 1891, and it was built by a businessman who had a dry goods store. That dry goods store was eventually bought out by Fandel and then by Herberger's. The builder's name was Majerus. He lived here only a couple of years. He ran out of money. And the next big owner was Judge Bruner. He was a very domineering, old German type of personality. Definitely a hypocrite. He sat on the prohibition cases, yet every kid in town knew that the barrels of moonshine came rolling in from Holdingford and got stored in our basement. After he was here, the house went to the Mouse family, M-A-U-S, pronounced mouse, meaning mouse, and everybody in town called it the Mouse House. Spell it in German or English, it was the same. Then a very beloved politician by the name of Buster Gotten purchased the home. In fact, over near Calvary Hill, there are streets named after Buster Gotten. There's Gotten's Way. And we bought from him in fall of 1971. After we owned the house, I was looking out the window one day and there was a fellow photographing the house, which isn't particularly unusual. I see students from both the university and the high schools out here painting the house or taking pictures of it. When I went out to introduce myself, and he was from the State Historic Society. And he said that of the historic homes in St. Cloud, we were the least altered, and every time that he came to St. Cloud, he always stopped to take a picture of this house. And he suggested that we get listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So we did all the application work, finding out the history of it, documenting everything, and we are on the National Register of Historic Places. With a historic building, there's always constant upkeep of some sort. And as I say, we were fortunate that it always has been maintained. It looks like there wouldn't be that much painting because the house is 3-story brick, but if you actually look on the outside of all the trim work, there's a lot. And it does require hiring somebody with a lift or a ladder that's not at all concerned about dangling 30 or 40 feet above the ground. It is Victorian, and it was called that because Queen Victoria was on the throne in England at the time. It is also called Queen Anne, which is the style of the exterior. It has some French elements, as I understand. I don't know a lot about the architecture, but of what I have read about the history of the house. I often say you can enjoy the formal elegance of the 19th century and all the casualness of the 21st. It's just kind of fun to sit in this living room, think of the conversations that have taken place since 1891, enjoy in a relaxed atmosphere the formality that the house did have. It was a very formal way of living in 1891.